This conference will now be recorded.
No. So in the previous session, we have discussed about the integration overview. We have discussed what exactly integration, what is the use, and which scenarios will enforce you to go to the integration, and how many ways are available to do the integration of Salesforce with some external systems we have discussed. And then from there, we have identified upon integrating the Salesforce applications with some third-party systems or any other Salesforce organizations, we have two ways are available. First one, declarative integration, which can be implemented without writing any code, without using any programming languages, just by using some mouse clicks, we can able to integrate the Salesforce application with some external systems. So at that time, if we want to integrate that Salesforce with some third-party systems, we are using some integration tools. Through that integration tools, we can integrate your Salesforce applications with some external systems also. But it's a bit expensive process. Why? Because we have to buy the license of this integration tool. These integration tools are purely on-premise. Okay, these are purely on-premise. You know what exactly on-premise, what exactly on-demand or cloud. That means we have to buy the license of this TIBCO. We have to install into your local server. Then only we can able to integrate. Suppose in future, after 2 years, if you got the latest release or the latest version of TIBCO, we have to get that latest version of license by investing the huge amount. By the latest version license, we have to upgrade. After 2 more years, when you get some more new version of that TIBCO, then we have to buy the latest version, we have to upgrade. That means keep on, we need to upgrade that. There is a major problem in on-premise that already we know, we have discussed in our Salesforce demo class itself. We have discussed in our initial classes. To avoid such kind of problems, we are using on-demand applications or cloud, which doesn't require any installations, which doesn't require to maintain any prerequisite hardwares. We no need to maintain any prerequisite softwares also in our local system. And then we no need to do the upgradation manually. That will be taken care by Salesforce. That too, that will be free of cost because of that multi-tenancy. So that whenever if you want to integrate that Salesforce with some third-party systems, we can go with that integration tools, or else we can go with that programmatic integration, which can be done by using the ready-made classes given by Salesforce with the help of web services. And if you want to integrate your Salesforce account with another Salesforce account, Salesforce has given a ready-made feature as part of declarative that is called as Salesforce to Salesforce. Salesforce to Salesforce integration will be possible. That means we can extend the data from one Salesforce organization to another Salesforce organization just by using that mouse pointers itself. We no need to write any code. We no need to use any programming languages. We no need to have any technical skills. Just by using some navigation steps, we can implement Salesforce to Salesforce integration. Now, whenever you are using this Salesforce to Salesforce integration feature is available in classic version only, not in Lightning. In Lightning experience, still this feature is not yet implemented. Still this feature is not yet implemented. And that too, when you go to the reports, you know the concept of reports and dashboards. So generally, we are creating the reports, we are scheduling the reports also to run based on the periodical intervals. That scheduling the report option also not there inside that Lightning. Lightning one provides, okay, the scheduling the report. You can run the report manually, but you can't schedule the report in Lightning. That feature is not yet implemented by Salesforce still in Lightning. So Lightning is still in implementation stage. So many features are not available. Keep on, they are going to be implementing those features. Like the similar way, this is Salesforce to Salesforce option is also not there inside your Lightning. If you want to implement, we have to go to Classic. In Classic only, in Salesforce Classic, we have this Salesforce to Salesforce integration just by using some mouse clicks. Now, in this case, how can we do this one? Now let's see practically how to implement this Salesforce to Salesforce integration. What are the various steps that we need to follow? We'll see one by one. Now, then how can we implement this Salesforce to Salesforce? So when should we go for this Salesforce to Salesforce integration? And let me give that information, and then I will show you step-by-step implementation. It's a bit lengthy process. Okay, it will take minimum 1.5 hours to 2 hours. We'll see that practical. Each and every step I will document. I will be giving this information also to you. The practical also I will show. Now, let's see. Why should we go for this Salesforce to Salesforce integration? At what scenarios we'll use? Now let me explain. Now, in our initial concepts of Salesforce, we have discussed about a concept called as server instances. Okay, server instances. That means how Salesforce is allocating the memory space for each and every organization. We have discussed in our starting classes of Salesforce. After that CRM process and the cloud services, we have discussed about the concept of server instances. That already you know, Salesforce has expanded their business into 3 different regions. Salesforce has expanded their business into 3 different regions. So what are those regions? North America region. This is also called as EMEA region. Second one, Europe region. This is also called as EU region or EMEA, Europe, Middle East, and Africa. And the third one, Asia Pacific region. This is also called as AP region. These are the 3 regions where exactly Salesforce business has been spread across. So that already we have discussed that when coming to the Salesforce, Salesforce is purely supporting multi-tenant architecture. Salesforce is purely supporting multi-tenant architecture. You know what exactly multi-tenant architecture? What is the benefits of multi-tenant architecture? Already you know. In our initial concepts of Salesforce, I have discussed about this feature as well. Now, so as part of this multi-tenant architecture, what Salesforce is doing, whenever a user is showing interest, whenever a customer showing interest to utilize Salesforce services, then Salesforce is not allocating a dedicated server for each and every customer. Salesforce is allocating some amount of memory space in that region's available server. In each and every region, Salesforce is allocating the various servers. Like in North America region, how many servers are available? NA0 to NA196. Totally 197 servers are available in North America region. In Asia Pacific region, EU0 to EU32. Now, in Asia Pacific region, AP0 to AP28. Okay, we have these servers are available. That means in North America region, we are having 197 servers. In Europe region, we have 33 servers. In Asia Pacific region, we are having 29 servers are available. So Salesforce is maintaining the servers in each and every region. Now, in each region, they are maintaining the various servers. Like for example, assume that Salesforce is maintaining a server. Assume that this is the server maintaining by Salesforce. This is the server maintaining by Salesforce. Assume that this server number is NA45, for example. NA45. That means North America region's 46th server. Because server numbers are starting from 0. The index will be starting from 0. So that here 45 means 46th server. So in North America region, we have a server called as NA45. Now, so today a customer showed interest. Okay, today a customer showed interest. What Salesforce will do? Salesforce is going to be reserving some amount of memory space for this particular customer. That means what? That means what? Whenever a customer showed interest to utilize Salesforce services, Salesforce is not providing the complete server to that customer. Salesforce is not allocating a dedicated server to that customer. Salesforce is allocating some amount of memory space inside that server. In that server, whatever the memory space is there, from that memory space, they are allocating some amount of memory space to that particular customer. This allocation of this memory space is called as creating a Salesforce account. Okay, the allocation of this memory space is called as creating a Salesforce account. This is called as a Salesforce account. This Salesforce account is also called as a Salesforce organization. Okay, it is also called as a Salesforce organization. Simply, this is also called as org. You know this concept here. That means Salesforce is not allocating a dedicated server. Dedicated server means what? A separate server for each and every customer. Whenever a customer showed interest to utilize that Salesforce services, then Salesforce is going to be allocating some amount of memory space in that particular server. Now this is the memory space has been allocated. So assume that this is for customer 1. Customer 1. So now this is the organization 1, for example. Organization 1. Now, so for the customer 1, they have allocated this organization. Now, how can we identify each and every organization by using a unique identification number that is called as organization ID? Organization ID. So organization ID contains what? 18 characters alphanumerical number. Okay. Organization ID is nothing but a unique identification number which will be allocating by Salesforce, okay, dynamically at runtime, so which will be an 18 characters alphanumerical number. So which always starts with a 00D. Organization ID is always starting with a 00D. It is a notation following the Salesforce. 00D, for example, 445566. Assume that this is the organization ID. So as soon as whenever the organization has been getting created, that means Salesforce account has been created. Salesforce is providing the CRM application by default. So this customer can access this CRM application. They can manage their customers' data, everything, and they can build their own custom applications also, whatever they want. This is a process. You know this concept already. Now, so a customer showed interest. So for that customer 1, Salesforce has created one organization by allocating some amount of memory space. In this particular memory space only, the customer has to store their data, their applications, their documents, their records, their files, and everything will be available inside this organization. Now, suppose for example, one more customer showed interest to utilize Salesforce services. So Salesforce is allocating some amount of memory space for that customer. For the customer 2, one more customer showed interest. This is the customer 2. Customer 2. For that customer, they are going to be allocating some amount of memory space. This is called as some organization 2. This is the organization 2. That means for the customer 2, Salesforce has allocated some different amount of memory space, okay, inside that same server. This is the organization 2. Now, in this case, this organization will be having an organization ID, which is starting with a 00D 556677. This is the second organization. Like the similar way, in this organization, the customer 2 can develop his own applications. He can store his data, his documents, his files, his records, everything. Now, one more customer showed interest to utilize Salesforce services. So Salesforce people are going to be allocating the memory space for this customer. So for the customer 3, they're allocating some different amount of memory space. Customer 3. For that one, they're allocating the memory space. This is also called as an organization, which is organization 3. For the customer 3, they have created one more organization, that is organization 3, which will be having the organization ID that is starting with the 00D 889900, for example. Like that here, inside a single server, for how many customers it will be allocating the memory space?
8,000.
8,000, right. So within a single server, Salesforce is allocating the memory space for 8,000 organizations. Okay. Inside a single server, Salesforce is allocating the memory space for 8,000 plus organizations. That means Salesforce is not providing a separate server for each and every customer. Salesforce is maintaining a shared infrastructure where whatever the memory space is available, they're allocating some memory space for each and every customer. In that memory space, the customer's data, documents, records, files will be getting resides. Even though if the multiple customers are going to be utilizing that same server, one customer's data can't be accessible by another customer. One customer's application can't accessible by another customer's. Okay, so this is a security boundary has been given by Salesforce by default. Okay, the security boundary has been given by Salesforce. Like for example, it's a general concept only. It's not the new concept following by Salesforce. It's a very regular concept. Like I think everybody is aware of the locker facility in the banks. You know the concept of locker facility in the banks. So now tell me, whenever if you want to take a locker, will the bank people are allocating the complete locker room to you? No. Whatever the space they have inside that locker room, that entire space are divided into the various small portions. The small boxes. Each box is called as a locker. That locker is having some space. In that space, you can place some property documents, some jewelry, some money, some gold, or some diamonds. Whatever the valuable things that we have, we can protect by placing inside that location. So whenever if you want to take a locker to place your valuable items, to store your valuable items, then the bank people are not allocating the complete locker room to you. They're allocating one small locker to you, some small space. In that space, we can able to place your valuable items. We can make a lock on that. Other people can't touch your items without your permission. Like the similar way, for another customer, one more locker. For another customer, one more locker. How can we identify each and every locker by using locker number? There is a locker number, is there 101, 102, 103, like that. How to open that locker? By using that key. You are having the key, with that key only we can open the locker. Like the similar way, same concept here also. Nothing different. So here also, whenever a customer showed interest, they're allocating some amount of memory space. Assume that this entire server is nothing but a locker room. So whenever a customer showed interest to utilize the Salesforce services, they're reserving some amount of memory space. So now in that memory space, the customer can able to place their items. That means their items means their applications, their data, their documents, records, files they can place inside this. It's like as a one locker. This locker will be getting identified by using a locker number. This is the locker number. And then how can we enter into this organization? With your key. Key means what? Your username and the password, your credentials. With your credentials, you can log in. Other people can't log in. Now, in this case here, can I log in into the other customer's account? No. Until or unless you don't know the username and the password, you can't log in. You should aware of the credentials. You know the key. Based on the key, only we can open the locker here. Even though if you know the locker number, okay, we can't open that locker. We need the key. Without the key, we can't open. We can't use items available inside this. Like the similar way, here also, each and every customer is having their own credentials. With their credentials, they can log in into that respective account. So within a single server, Salesforce is allocating the memory space for 8,000 organizations. 8,000 organizations. That means 8,000 customers are utilizing the same server. 8,000 customers are sharing the same server resources. 8,000 customers' applications are running in the same server. 8,000 customers' data, documents, files, records will be storing inside the same server. Even though if 8,000 customers' data is available in the same server, 8,000 customers' applications are running in the same server. So one customer data can't be accessible by another customer. One customer data can't be touched by the another customers here. That much of security boundaries has been given by Salesforce. The facility is available to you. Now, so now here in this case here, for example, let's come to a scenario. Now, assume that. So now this organization 1 is belongs to ICICI Bank people. ICICI Bank people. Now the customer 1 is nothing but ICICI Bank. ICICI Bank people are utilizing our Salesforce services. Okay. Now, this customer 3 is belongs to ICICI Lombard. ICICI Lombard. It's an insurance offered by ICICI Bank people. Because ICICI Bank is having so many sectors, so many portfolios. Banking, financial sectors, insurance sectors are also available. Investment bankings are also available, like share markets and all these things. Capital markets. Now, in this case, now, so this ICICI, this organization 1 is belongs to ICICI Bank. This organization 3 is belongs to ICICI Lombard. Now, this organization 2 is belongs to some IBM. IBM. So the customer 2 is nothing but IBM. Now in this case, what happened? When coming to this customer 1 and the customer 3, these two are partners. Because ICICI Lombard is also part of ICICI Bank group. So ICICI Bank is purely offering banking services. ICICI Lombard people are going to be offering some investment services, capital market services, share market services they're offering. So now they would like to share some data. They would like to share some data. Because few of the ICICI Bank customers wants to utilize, okay, they would like to introduce, they would like to invest some amount into the mutual funds, okay, mutual funds. So at that time, the people who are interested in the mutual funds, their data they would like to share to that, okay, organization team. The customers who are utilizing, okay, who are utilizing their banking services, from those customers, a few customers have shared, okay, their interest to utilize the mutual funds also. Because some IT people are available, so they want to invest some amount in the mutual funds so that for the tax savings. For the tax savings, they would like to do, okay, some investment in the mutual funds and LICs also, national savings schemes also, like that. Home loans also, they would like to show their some savings so that they can reduce the tax also. They will get some tax exemption. In this case, few of the ICICI Bank customers have shown interest to utilize the mutual funds. So whatever the data, nothing but whatever the customer records are available, okay, who are interested in that mutual funds, their data I would like to share to that organization. Then how can we do that? Is it possible to share the records from one organization to another organization? Both are Salesforce only. ICICI Bank people are using Salesforce account. ICICI Lombard people are also using Salesforce account. Both are Salesforce applications. In this case, can you transfer the data? If you want to transfer the data from one Salesforce organization to another Salesforce organization, the only way is integration. Even though both are Salesforce, okay, the only way is integration. Without integration, we can't touch one customer's data, okay, from another organization. One customer's data can't be accessible by another customers. So if you want to access the data, if you want to pass some data from one organization to another organization, for at that time, we have to go with that integration. So do we need to write some code in order to do the integration? No. Through, okay, declarative features, Salesforce has given a feature called as Salesforce to Salesforce, because both are Salesforce organizations. ICICI Bank application is also built on Salesforce. ICICI Lombard people are also using Salesforce organization. So that I want to transfer the records from one organization to another organization. Okay, I want to transfer the records from one organization to another organization. Now, in this case, if you want to share, okay, if you want to share the records from one Salesforce organization to another Salesforce organization without having explicit integration, without writing any code, if you want to share the data from one organization to another organization, then we are going to be using the help of a feature called as Salesforce to Salesforce integration. Salesforce to Salesforce integration. That means both the organizations are partner organizations. Both are partners. Both are part of a group of companies. Both are part of a group of companies. So in this case, they would like to share some records. Organization 1 wants to share some records to organization 3. Organization 3 wants to share some records to organization 1. In this case, if the two organization wants to share the records, then we can go with Salesforce to Salesforce integration also. Without writing any code, without using any programming languages, without using any additional tools, we can share the records between the two organizations by using Salesforce to Salesforce integration. That facility is available. Then how can we do that Salesforce to Salesforce integration? Now let's see. Here we can raise a question. Sir, here both the organizations should be in the same server. No. That may be one may be in North America region 45 server, one may be from Asia Pacific region some 16 server also, anything. If both are Salesforce, then we can able to implement Salesforce to Salesforce integration. From Asia Pacific region server to North America, North America to Europe, Europe to Asia Pacific also, we can able to provide the Salesforce to Salesforce integration facility. It doesn't require to have both the organizations should be in the same server, not like that. If it is a Salesforce organization, both should be Salesforce organizations. Those may be available in any server, those may be belongs to any region also, are not bothered about that. If both are Salesforce organizations, we can able to provide integration through Salesforce to Salesforce integration facility given by Salesforce. Now, so in this case, how can we implement the Salesforce to Salesforce integration? How to implement Salesforce to Salesforce integration? Now let's see practically in this case. Now let's see the practical part. So these are the two organizations. Whenever if you're having two partner organizations are available who are utilizing Salesforce services, then they can exchange the data. They can exchange the data between the organizations without having any explicit installations. For that reason, Salesforce has given one additional feature, Salesforce to Salesforce, so that we can able to exchange the records from one Salesforce organization to another Salesforce organization. That possibility is available through Salesforce to Salesforce. If both are different applications, Salesforce to Salesforce feature won't work. Like as one is Salesforce, second one is Java, then it won't work. It will be working only for Salesforce to Salesforce. Okay, now. So now let's see in this case, how can we implement Salesforce to Salesforce integration between the two organizations. Now, let's see. Now let's see. Whenever if you want to share the records between the two organizations, that means organization 1 to organization 2, we are using Salesforce to Salesforce. So if you want to share the records between the two organizations, then first of all, we should have both organizations, right? Yes. First of all, we should have both the organizations. That means what? As a step one, we need two Salesforce.com organizations. Okay, we need two Salesforce.com organizations. Now, as a step one, we need two Salesforce.com organizations. First of all, we need two Salesforce organizations. from this organization. For example, from where to where they want to send the data. So now the ICICI Bank people want to share some records to ICICI Lombard, because these are the banking customers who are utilizing the banking services. From there, they have some salary customers are available. They have few customers are there who wants to invest some amount in the mutual funds also. But the mutual funds operations will be taken care by the ICICI Lombard people. So I would like to share these records to the ICICI Lombard people so that these people will start contacting those customers and they will be providing some mutual funds related information to those people. So in this case, ICICI Bank people wants to share some records, nothing but they're sharing the data from where, from that organization 1 to organization 3. Now tell me here in this case, which one is the source? Source is ICICI Bank, nothing but this is the organization 1. Target is what? Organization 3, this is the target. This is the source, this is the target. So this source is also called as publisher. This is also called as publisher. This is also called as provider. This is also called as server. Okay. Generally, the normal terminology we are calling it as server. We are calling it as server. Server. This is also called as provider. This is also called as publisher. Okay. This is also called as publisher. That means the source. If it is a target, target will be referred as client. It is also called as consumer. That means who is consuming that, utilizing that, taking that. And then publisher and then subscriber. Subscriber. This is nothing but the target. Subscriber. Subscribers are nothing but the people who are utilizing those resources, who are collecting those resources. Now, so in this case, we need the two organizations. From those two organizations, okay, organization 1 will be the server, that means the provider or the publisher. And the second one will be the consumer or subscriber. Okay, subscriber organization. Subscriber means client. Generally, in the normal terminologies, we are aware of the words server and the client. This server is also called as provider. This is also called as publisher. And this is also called as source, where exactly the data will be there, where exactly the information is available. And then the client is also referred as consumer, who is consuming, who is utilizing, who is getting that information. Subscriber, who is utilizing that is also called as target. Now, so now here in this case, we need two Salesforce organizations first. One will be acting as the publisher, second one will be acting as the subscriber. We need two Salesforce organizations. Now, in this case, let me take two Salesforce organizations right now. So let me take the two Salesforce accounts. For example, let me take two Salesforce accounts. One is training.batch 335. This is one organization which I would like to use. Second one, I would like to take one more organization. Training.batch 334. So two organizations I would like to use. Now, I'm going to be using that. The first one will be a provider or publisher. publisher organization. This is the server. Simply we can say it as a server, where exactly the records will be available. So we need two Salesforce organizations. This is the organization one, which is having this username, The second one, consumer. This is also called as subscriber. That means client. So we have two organizations are available right now with me. One is provider, second one is consumer. Okay. So we have two Salesforce organizations. So whenever if you want to implement that Salesforce to Salesforce, that means one Salesforce organization to another Salesforce organization. Then first of all, we need both the Salesforce organizations first. Now, so I'm having two Salesforce accounts right now with me. Okay, batch 334, batch 335. So batch 335 will be the server, batch 334 will be the client, nothing but publisher and consumer. Now, as a step two, so what needs to be done is when you go to this organizations, in both the organizations, we have to enable Salesforce to Salesforce settings. Okay, as a step two, we have to enable Salesforce to Salesforce settings. Then where it is available, now let's see practically in this case. As a step two, enable the Salesforce to Salesforce settings in both the organizations. In both the organizations, we have to enable Salesforce to Salesforce settings. Because one organization can share the records, second organization can receive the records. So that here, I need to enable Salesforce to Salesforce settings in both the organizations, both provider and the consumer. That means publisher and the subscriber. In both the places, we have to enable Salesforce to Salesforce settings. Where it is available, we have to go to the setup menu, go to the build menu in the left panel, click on customize. Inside that, we are having Salesforce to Salesforce. Inside that, we are having an option called as Salesforce to Salesforce settings link. We can use that Salesforce to Salesforce settings link. From there, we can able to enable this settings. We have to enable this setting. So in both the organizations, we have to enable Salesforce to Salesforce. That means what? This Salesforce organization should be able to interact with another Salesforce organization. It can send the data to another organization. Now, in the second organization, that means in the client side, that means consumer side also, we have to enable the same so that it will receive some records from another Salesforce organization. One is to send, second one is to receive. So that here we have to enable Salesforce to Salesforce settings in both the organizations. Now let me log in into both the organizations first. Now, let me log in. So I'm going to be logging into the Salesforce organization. Training.batch 335. I have logged into that organization training.batch 335. Now this organization name, let me verify what is the name of this organization. It is having 4Cs Incorporation. Okay. This is having the names organization name as 4Cs Incorporation. Here we need to enable Salesforce to Salesforce settings. Go to the build menu in the left panel. Click on customize. Here you will be having an option called as Salesforce to Salesforce. When you expand this, you will be having an option called as Salesforce to Salesforce settings link. Click on this Salesforce to Salesforce settings. Okay, click on this link. Click on this link in order to enable Salesforce to Salesforce. Now, so here Salesforce to Salesforce settings has not yet enabled over here. Now we have an option called as enable this checkbox. Click on this edit button. Select the checkbox enable. Okay, select the checkbox enable. Now click on save. So we have enabled this. Now this is Salesforce organization. Okay, this is a Salesforce organization which can able to share the Salesforce records to another organization also. Like the similar way, I need to log in into that another Salesforce organization. For that one, I would like to use that Firefox browser. Let me go with the Firefox browser.
Only admin can do this, right?
Yes, only admin can do. Admin and developer, both.
Both. Okay. We can restrict this one.
Yes. We can restrict in the sense what?
Like disable this option for developer if needed.
No. Once it has been enabled, we can't disable.
Okay.
But we can able to remove those objects sharing.
Okay. Sharing the object.
Sharing the records, we can able to prevent that. That possibility is there.
Okay. Thank you.
Now. So let me go to that another organization.
So while creating a user profile for development users, we can restrict this access, right?
Yes.
Okay. Not necessary. Every developer should have this option.
Right. Right. Yes. So now I'm going to be logging into the second organization. So let me verify what is this organization name. Go to that company profile. Now, here it is having some ICSC Prudential. So this is the second organization name, ICSC Prudential. So these are the two organizations. Now, so I want to enable Salesforce to Salesforce inside this organization also. Go to the customize, go to the Salesforce to Salesforce, select that option Salesforce to Salesforce settings. Here already I have enabled for this organization for the previous batch people. Okay, for the previous batch people to utilize to show this example, I have implemented this. Already have enabled. Like the similar way. Just click on edit button, select the checkbox over here.
And Feroz, can we disable this right now?
Now, when you go to this edit option here, now it won't enable to, it won't allow you to disable. Okay, whatever the connections you are going to map, that connections you can disable. I will show you that connections mapping.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, once the Salesforce to Salesforce integration has been enabled, then we can't disable that option again.
Why the implementation was developed in that way?
Now, because here the Salesforce to Salesforce integration should be enabled, okay, only once. Okay, every time we no need to implement this one. We no need to go with the lengthy process again and again and again. If you want to share the record, then enable that connection mapping, or else don't use the connection mappings. Because it's a lengthy steps, okay? Lengthy steps will be available. Multiple steps, almost 9 to 10 steps are available. We have to follow. If you're disabling that, then we have to follow the same steps again and again and again. It will be a lengthy mechanism. For that one, Salesforce has given that option that once it has been enabled, we can't disable. Okay. Now, enabled the Salesforce to Salesforce settings in both the organizations. In organization 1, organization 2, both. That means provider, consumer, publisher, subscriber, both. Now in this case, now this provider organization I have used, okay, inside the Chrome browser, and then the subscriber I have used inside that the Firefox browser. I have used these two different browsers over here. Now, so now here I have used the two browsers. One is in Chrome, second one is in Firefox. Okay, two browsers I have used. Now, in this case. So now in this case. So once the Salesforce to Salesforce settings has been enabled, that means we have enabled my organization should be able to send some records to that target. And then target is also enabled that it can receive some records from source. So both are okay. Nothing but we have provided the handshake. Okay, so both are ready. Now, in this case here as a step 3, So now as a step 3, we have to create an account record and a related contact inside the publisher. Okay, inside the publisher. Why we are going to be creating this account and contact? To send some invitation request. Now, so that we can able to establish the connection. Both the organizations are available. Both are different organizations right now. Now, this is ready to share. This is ready to receive. Whenever if you want to share and if you want to receive, then first of all, we have to establish the communication channel, right? Yes, we have to establish the communication channel. So in order to establish the communication channel, we are going to preparing an invitation request. Okay, we are preparing an invitation request. Now, in this case, let's see. So as a step 3, create an account record and a related contact record inside this publisher organization. Inside the publisher organization. Here I'm clearly indicating that where I'm doing publisher. Inside the publisher organization. Create an account record and a related contact record. Now, while creating the contact record, specify the subscriber's email ID. Email ID inside the email field. Now, this is the third step. What we need to do inside my publisher, nothing but inside my server, I need to create one account record and a contact record. Now, so by using this account record and the contact record, I can able to initiate a connection request to that subscriber, so to the consumer. Now, so in this case here, we need to go to the publisher account, nothing but the server. In that server, create one Salesforce account record. That means one account record and one related contact record. While creating the contact, in that contact record, place that email ID. What email ID? When you go to the consumer, nothing but when you go to my subscriber, here whatever the Salesforce account is available. Who is the administrator over here? This is the administrator person, training.batch334. So now for this one, what is the email ID that we have? Collect that email ID. When you go to this user, this is the email ID is available. So specify this email ID inside the contact records email ID field. Upon creating the contact record, specify the subscriber's email ID inside that email field. This is a fundamental point we have to do. So now here, why I'm doing like this here, you can raise a question. So suppose, for example, assume that. So we have the two people, myself, and then some Praveen. We both are there. So now I'm going to getting married. Okay, I'm going to married. Okay, this weekend or next weekend, whatever, something. So On the occasion of my marriage, okay, on the occasion of my marriage, I would like to invite some Praveen. Praveen, you want to assume that he's one of my friend or he's one of my colleague. I would like to invite him on the occasion of my marriage. So I need to send some invitation, right? Yes. Without inviting, that person won't visit my marriage. So I need to send some invitation request. So I'm having a wedding card. On that wedding card, what we're doing, we are going to be writing, okay, now the invited, okay, Mr. Praveen and family, so and so. We are writing. That means what? On that particular wedding card, we are writing the name to whom you are inviting here. So that that wedding card we can give to that Praveen, or we can make it post also, we can make it courier also to the Praveen. Because suppose if the Praveen is staying in some different city, if that is very far from my location, if I'm unable to go to his home directly, then I will invite him through phone. I will send one invitation card through courier also, through post also. So on that particular invitation card or wedding invitation card, I'm writing that Praveen's name, so that it should be reaching to that Praveen over here. So like the similar way, here also we are having a subscriber, nothing but a client is available. Now to that client, I want to send some invitation request. Boss, I am the server, I have some records, I want to share these records with you, so that I'm going to be, okay, sending some invitation request to you. So how can we send the invitation request to that client? Based on the client email ID. That means that is the client is nothing but one of that organization. How can we connect to this one? Based on this user. This user is having what? Some ID. That means email ID is available. So I need to collect this user's email ID. That means I'm collecting this user's email ID. That email ID I'm placing inside the contact record, so that I can send some invitation request to the person. So he will accept my invitation and he can able to attend my marriage also. Like that, so that in order to send the invitation request to that particular account. Why? Because I want to establish a communication channel between client and the server. That means subscriber and the provider. So that provider is going to be initiating a request. For that one, I need to prepare some invitation request. For that one, when you go to that provider, we are going to be creating one account record and a related contact record. Now, let's see. So now in this case, I'm creating one account record.
Firoz, will, so basically if we have publisher and the other one is the receiver, can each one of them push the record back and forth, or only
Yes,
one?
we can do that. The same steps we have to do from there also. The similar steps you have to do from there also. That means here, if you want to send the request in, if you want to share the request in bidirectional, like as the sender to receiver, receiver to sender, then receiver also has to send the invitation, and the sender should be receive that, and then they have to follow the same steps.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, bidirectional also we can implement. Now, so now here I'm going to be creating one account record. Now, I'm creating an account record. Now, I would like to indicate partner account 334. I'm creating an account record with the name partner account 334. Account number I'm giving like a 3300. Type some prospect. You can give any details, no problem. Banking and annual revenue I'm indicating like as some 15 lakhs or 16 lakh. Rating value some heart. Phone number I'm giving some value. Fax number I'm giving some value. Website I'm indicating like as some forcesincorporation.com, and then ownership I'm indicating like as some private. I'm indicating customer priority as high, active status as some yes. Now click on save. I have created one account record. Now I have created one account record with the name partner account 334. Now for this one, I need to create one related contact. Okay, I would like to create a related contact also for this account here. How to do that? Now let's see practically in this case. Let me place this contacts related list also over here. Now, I would like to create a related contact for this account. Click on new contact button, specify the contact details. I'm indicating partner contact record 334. I'm giving the partner contact record 334. Title, okay, I'm going to be indicating the title because he is a partner organization. Department like some insurance or some mutual funds or investment banking. And I'm indicating that lead source as somewhere. Phone number has been captured automatically. Mobile number I'm giving the value. And here we can specify the email ID. What email ID? The consumer's email ID. When you go to the consumer organization, that means training batch 334. So whatever the email ID is available, you have to copy that email ID. Paste that email ID over here. Okay, paste that email ID. I have specified the email ID inside that email field. Now, so I'm indicating that save. Click on save. My record has been created successfully. This is the record. So I have created an account record and then I have created one contact record. That means here I have collected the consumer's email ID and then with that email ID I have created one contact record by placing the email ID inside the email field. That means it's like as an invitation request. Now, so now I would like to send the invitation request. How can we send that invitation request? In order to send that invitation request, we need to map the connection over here. We need to map the connection. Now, then how can we map the connection here? From where I would like to send that information, I would like to send the invitation from my provider to consumer. Okay, provider to consumer. So now in this case here, I would like to make an initial request. So from organization 1 to organization 3. I would like to send the invitation request. Now, here I'm indicating that connection. I need to send that connection request. For example, this is the provider. This is the receiver. Receiver or consumer, whatever, anything. Now, so I want to send that invitation. We need to map the connection from provider to consumer so that we can able to send that request. So that it should receive that, it will accept that invitation request. So how to map the connection over here? Between these two organizations, I would like to map the connection. How to map the connection? Now let's see practically in this case. Now, as a step 4, map the connection between the organizations. So where we need to implement in the publisher. In the publisher, we need to map the connection. So in this case, what needs to be done? We have to create a connection request. Okay, now by creating a connection request inside the provider, that means the publisher. Inside the publisher, we have to create a connection request. Then how can we create a connection request? Now let's see practically in this case. So in this case, what I want to do is I would like to add that connections tab. In order to map the connection, between the two organizations, we are going to be utilizing the connections tab. Connections is an object which has been given by Salesforce, which is used to establish the secured communication, secured channel between the two Salesforce.com organizations. Between the two Salesforce.com organizations, we can able to establish the secured channel, secured communication channel by using this connections object. Then, how can we do that? Now let's see practically in this case. Now, let's see in this case. Now, inside this publisher, what we need to do? Now let's see practically.
Firoz, you cannot share or pass automation from one instance to another, right?
Sorry?
Can you pass automation from one instance to another?
Automation in the sense?
Like, let's say process builder or Apex class or trigger. Can you do this?
No, we can't share that. Through that one, we can't do that. Process builder can't do. But at that time, we have to go with integration, especially. REST integration we have to do. We have to implement that in callouts.
Okay.
Okay. Now, in this case, go to the publisher organization and go to the tab bar. Add the connections tab on the tab bar. Add the connections tab on the tab bar. So why this connections tab? Connections tab is used to establish the secured channel between the two organizations. Now, in this case here, what needs to be done? So now add that connections tab onto that tab bar. And then click on this new button to add that new connection. Okay, click on this new button in order to add that new connection over here. Now, as a step 2, click on new button to add the new connection. Now, specify the connection name, and then select the account record from the pick list and select the contact records from the lookup icon. It is also from lookup. So previously we have created the account record and the contact record. So by using these two lookup fields, we can able to specify that. Account record name and then contact record name by using those lookups over here. Now, and then click on save it. Click on save it. So which will be sending that invitation request. So what it will do is, so now it is going to be nothing but the publisher. Okay, that means the provider. Provider is going to be sending a connection request to the consumer, and then it will be sending that connection activation link to the consumer's email ID. Now, so here we have to select that account record. Which account record? Partner account. Previously, we have created the partner account record. Here, partner contact record. Partner contact. These are the records we have created. So that here select that account record and the related contact record. Then what it will do is the observation. Observation is the provider will send the connection invitation request. Connection invitation request to the consumer's consumer's email ID. Consumer's email ID. Okay, consumer's email ID. That means connection activation link. That is connection activation. This is the step 4. As a step 4, okay, as a step 4, the publisher is going to be establishing a communication channel. That means it is sending a request to the consumer, boss, I want to establish the communication with you because I want to share some records to you. So this is the invitation request. So please click on that invitation request link, and then so that it will be establishing the communication channel so that we can talk to each other. Now, in this case, how can we send this invitation request over here? Now, so once the invitation request has been getting sent, then the step 5, okay, step 5. So what we need to do in this case over here? What we have to do? In this case, the consumer should accept that connection request. Nothing but it has to click on that invitation link and it has to activate that invitation request. Now, so in this case, here what needs to be done? Now, as a step 5, as a step 5, in the consumer side, that means subscriber. Now, subscriber should invoke the invitation request. That means activate. Click on the invitation request. Invitation request from the email so that it will establish the secured communication channel. Secured communication channel between the organizations. Now, so in this case, what needs to be done? As a step 4, we have to send the invitation request, and as a step 5, the subscriber should invoke that request. Nothing but it has to accept that invitation request. Now the consumer, nothing but consumer should click on this invitation request, okay, from the email so that it will establish the secure channel. That means it is accepting that. Okay, it is accepting that invitation request. That is, it should accept the invitation request. It should accept the invitation request so that it will be establishing the communication channel between the organizations. Now let's see how can we do that. So I would like to add the connections tab. So this is my provider right now. That means publisher. Go to this publisher, click on this plus symbol on the tab bar, and this connections tab. Click on customize my tabs button. So I don't want to show these cases and all these things. And then I would like to add connections tab. There is a tab called as connections. Connection says a connection is an object which is used to establish the connection or the communication channel between the two Salesforce organizations. Now click on Save button. So we have added the connections tab on this tab bar. Click on plus symbol. So click on this connections tab, and in order to create a new connection request. Okay, there is no connections are available as of now. Okay, there is no connections are available as of now. So I would like to create a new connection. Click on this new button in order to create a new connection. So now select that account record and the related contact record by using this lookup icon. So in order to send that invitation request, okay, we are going to be using. So enter a contact at an organization. You want to share records, okay, with using Salesforce to Salesforce. In order to send that, okay, invitation request, we need to select contact record in which the email ID will be having the email of the respective target organization. So now whatever the record that we have created as partner account, select that account record. I'm selecting that account.
How can we get only contact and account? Did you go somewhere else?
See, this is only for the connection establishments. What objects you records you want to share, we'll select that. That will be the next steps.
No. What I'm asking is there are some other tabs, right? That particular organization. Why it is showing only account and contact?
Because whenever if you want to establish the connection between these two organizations, we are going to be using only the account record and the contact record. Because by using this contact, we can able to send some invitation requests to that particular partner.
Yeah, did you
That's
select?
what.
No, did you select somewhere only contact and account?
We have created two records, right? One contact, one account record we have created, right?
No, 1 second. Here you are showing leads, accounts, contacts, opportunities, hiring managers. There are custom.
Yes, right.
Here it is showing only two account and contact. How come it is showing these two objects related records?
See, here when you click on this connections tab is going to be using the account record and the contact record to send the invitation request.
Okay.
It is not possible through other objects.
No, it's not possible.
Only
because contacts
yes,
only we can
what
able to make the contacts.
Yeah.
We can able to make that contacts as the partners. Okay. Now we can't use any other object records over here. In order to establish the connection, we are going to be using this account and contact. What object records you want to share, that we can decide. Okay, we can able to publish the object, we can publish the fields also. We'll see that concept. Now, so select that account record, okay, which we have created in order to establish that connection. So we have created one account record called as partner account. Partner account 334, select the contact record. Partner contact. So partner contact 334. So we have created an account record and a contact record, so which we are going to be using as a base in order to establish the communication between the both organizations. So select that account record and select that contact record. Now click on save and send invite. Then as soon as once you click on this button, an invitation request will be getting prepared. That means an invitation link will be getting prepared that will be sending to this particular consumer's email ID automatically. Because how it will be identifying the consumer, whatever the contact record we have prepared, in this contact records email ID field, we have placed that consumer's email ID value. Now, so it will be sending that invitation request to that email ID automatically. Now, before that, let me log in into my Gmail account also. I'm going to my Gmail account. So let me initiate this request now. Click on save and send invite. So as soon as once you click on that save and send invite, it will be indicating that invitation has been sent. Okay, invitation has been sent. Connection status is still it is showing like as invitation has been sent, that is not yet accepted by the consumer as of now. The consumer still not yet accepted. So now in this case, let's go to that email ID. In this email, you will be receiving that invitation request. So this is the invitation request has been received. Now, Forces Incorporation has invited you to connect in Salesforce. That means Forces Incorporation means what? So this is my provider. Okay, provider. This is a server. Provider has sent an invitation to you to connect to Salesforce, Salesforce to Salesforce. So would you like to connect or not? If yes, then activate that link here. So once you click on this, you will be having that activation link will be available over here. This is the activation link. So now click on this activation link. I'm copying this activation link. I'm pasting inside my Firefox browser. Press enter. Press enter and then provide that credentials. Once you click on that link, automatically here it is indicating this. So now this is the invitation request here. So it is indicating. So this is my consumer. Okay, consumer. The connection is from Forces Incorporation. The connection is from Forces Incorporation. So now they have sent the invitation request over here. Invitation has been received by this consumer. Now you want to connect or not. If you want to connect, then click on accept. Or else if you don't want to connect, then click on decline. Now I want to connect that here. For that one, click on accept. As soon as once you click on this accept button, then it is going to be indicating connection will be getting established successfully. Connection is in active status right now. So now let me go to that. Let me go to my provider, refresh this user interface. It will be indicating connection is in active. So now between these two organizations, connection has been established successfully. So now in this case, you can able to publish the objects, publish the record fields also, and from there you can able to share the records. So the connection has been established between these two organizations. So provider has sent the invitation request and the consumer has accepted that invitation request over here. Okay, now next one, step 6 in the provider side. That means publisher. Publisher. What needs to be done? Now connection has been established. Once the connection is established, then we have to decide what object records you want to share with the people. Okay, what object records you want to share with the consumer. So for that one, we have to select that objects. So that we have to go to that, okay, publish the objects section. Go to the published objects section and select the objects which you would like to share. Now, inside the provider here. Now, select the objects to be get published. To be get published. How can we do that? Now let's see practically in this case. Now, go to the connections tab and click on the connections page. Click on the connections page. And then now you can able to go to that publish the objects section. Go to the publish objects section. Now, click on add button. Click on add button in order to add that objects which you would like to publish. Now, in this case, click on this add button and then select the objects. Select the required objects to be get published to the consumer. For example, I would like to publish account object records, contact records, lead records, hiring manager records, position records, like that. We can able to select the objects and then click on save. Click on save. Now, in the provider side, we have to select the objects which you would like to share. That means what object records you would like to share to the people, we can able to select the objects. And then let me show you how can we do this. And then we need to select the fields also. How to publish the fields, I will show you. Now, so go to this provider. This is the provider. Inside this connections tab, go to the connections tab. You will be having the connection. This is the connection. Suppose if you don't want to share the record, then you can deactivate the connection here. Okay, you can deactivate the connection. In future, if you want to share the record, then activate the connection again. Now, but Salesforce to Salesforce we can't disable. Open this connection. Here you will be having an option called as published objects section. Okay, there is a section called as published objects. Publishing means what? Exposing. Exposing. Nothing but sharing. What object records you would like to share? Select that object. So click on publish or unpublish button. Now it is populating the object details here. These are the various objects information which we can able to publish. Select that objects information which you want to publish. Select that account. I would like to share the contacts, opportunity, leads, hiring manager, and the position and the case objects. These are the various objects information which I would like to publish. I would like to publish the account object, case object, contact, hiring manager, lead, opportunity, position object record. These are the records, object records which I would like to publish. Click on save.
Sir, generally we will have more objects, right? Like price book or something like that. So
yes.
Those options are not available over here?
Those will not be available here. Only the basic objects and the custom objects we can able to publish through Salesforce to Salesforce.
Okay.
Not all the objects. Now, so whatever the objects we have published, those objects information will be getting visible to you over here. Okay, those objects information will be getting visible to you. Now, so now that means the provider is going to be informing to that consumer, boss, I am going to be exposing these are the object records to you. Then at the time, at the same time, consumer should be able to subscribe these objects, right? Boss, okay, I'm also ready to receive those object records. So it should give the confirmation, right? Yes. So in this case, what needs to be done? We have to go to the consumer organization. Then you will be having an option called as, okay, subscribed objects. Refresh this user interface. Refresh this user interface. Now click on subscribed objects section. Click on subscribe or unsubscribe. So whatever the objects has been published, okay, those objects information will be getting visible to you. So now these are the objects has been exposed by the publisher. Now you want to consume these object records or not? Yes, I want to consume. So now in this case you can specify. So this is the organization from which you are going to be exposing, like as Forces Incorporation. That is my provider, that means publisher. And then they're sharing this account object records information. Then where you want to store, because whenever they're sharing that record, in which object you want to show, here also I'm having the similar kind of objects are available. So now in this case, I would like to store this information inside my account object. Whenever they're sharing the case record, I want to store into my case object. Whenever they're sharing the contact record, I want to store into my contact record. Whenever they're sharing that hiring manager record, I want to store into my hiring manager object. Whenever they're sharing lead record, I want to store into my lead object. Opportunity record into opportunity object. Position record into position object. Nothing but already I'm having the similar kind of tables are available so that we can sync the records. Now, so in this case, whenever we are going to be receiving the record, then we are going to be indicating. So they are going to be indicating that they're pushing the record. Then I need to catch, I need to place somewhere. So that here I'm indicating this is the target location in which the record has to be get placed. Then do I need to accept that record manually? No. Please auto accept that record over here. So you will be having an option called as auto accept. That means automatically accept that record and then place inside this. If this checkbox is not selected, what will happen is whenever the publisher is going to be pushing one record, subscriber will receive, okay, but that will not be visible inside the object. We have to accept that record first. It will be showing some accept button. Once you click on accept, then only the record will be coming into your object here. Till that time, it will be in the waiting state, pending status only. But I don't want to accept manually for each and every record. I want to make it as an auto accept option. Now click on save. Now, so let me give that note point over here. This is the step 7. Step 7 inside the consumer side.
Feroz,
Yes.
so how can we differentiate these are the records which we got from the publisher?
We'll see. I will show you. I will show you that one. It will be clearly indicating that this is the record has been shared by that so and so publisher.
Okay, and by doing an auto select, I mean auto select, right? So whenever the publisher is creating an account record or a contact record,
No, it won't. Whenever they're creating, it won't share automatically. They will share manually. Whatever the record they would like to share to this organization, they will share manually.
so okay, it's not the thing like whatever they create, it will be reflected in the.
No, not like that. Okay, they won't share all. They will share only the information which is required for them. That's it.
Okay, thank you.
Can you share all the records on the account object, for example?
Yes, we can share. But one by one, we have to share manually.
Okay.
But all the records we can't share in one shot.
Okay.
No. So in the consumer
If
side,
we have thousands of records,
then we have to go with integrations. Okay, through programming. Through programming, we can do that integration.
okay.
Okay, now by writing some code. Now, so now here in this case, subscriber should accept or subscribe the published objects. Published objects, they have to share this one. Now, so now the subscriber should accept that records here. How they are going to be accepting the records here? Now let me show you. Now, in this case, go to the connections tab and click on the connections page. Go to subscribe or unsubscribe section button. Go to the subscribed objects section. Click on subscribe or unsubscribe button. Now, select the target objects from the pick list to which the records will get placed. And select the checkbox auto accept button to accept the record, to accept the published record automatically into the consumer, and then click on save button. Click on save button. So the publisher has published some objects and the consumer has subscribed objects. Now, so now once the objects has been published by the publisher, then in that object it will be having so many fields are available. Then do I need to share all the fields information? No, I don't want to share all the fields information. Select the fields which you would like to publish. Now, in this case, as a step 8, inside that publisher. Now, inside that publisher, select the fields to be get published for each object. For each object, we have to select the fields. For that one, go to the connections tab and click on the connections page. Go to the published objects section. Go to the published objects section. Click on edit button for each published object. For each published object, and select the required fields to be get published. For example, inside my account object, I would like to publish the name field, rating field, industry field. Like that, we can able to select that fields. Click on save button. And repeat the steps 1 to 4 to select the fields to be get published for all the objects. Repeat the steps 1 to 4 to select the fields to be get published for all the objects. That means whenever I'm going to be publishing an object account, that means all the fields of that object will be getting published? No. I would like to publish only some set of fields, only some fields information I would like to share with them. Some fields are there which are very confidential to me, so I don't want to share that field information to those people. Now, so in this case, what needs to be done? So at that time, we are going to be indicating that what fields you would like to publish, we can able to specify that fields.
So can you please go back to step 4? So see, the connections tab will appear whenever we do the Salesforce to Salesforce setup. Otherwise, it will
It
not be
won't display.
appear.
We have to add that tab onto the tab bar manually. It won't display directly.
No, I mean it won't display directly, but we have to select from the options, right?
Right.
So Salesforce to Salesforce option should be enabled. Otherwise, it doesn't show, right? In the
Yes.
LOB.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Go back to step 4, please. 1 second. Here you are giving account record and contact record. These are all organization account and contact details. It's not the.
No, normal. We can create one sample contact record, one account record. Because this account and contact we are creating to map the connection between the provider and the consumer. So to send the invitation request to that consumer, we are going to be placing the consumer organization's email ID inside my contact record email field.
Okay.
Okay. Now.
Yeah, right now I'm not able to see the connections tab and wherever we used to select existing tabs, right? That's why I asked that question.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, in the step 8, we have to publish. Now I am going to publishing these fields in each and every object. Let's go to that objects here. You will be having this published objects. So this is my provider. So inside this publisher, okay, we are having this. These are the objects which we have published. In these objects, we have so many fields are available. What fields you would like to publish? You can able to select that fields. When you go to the account, I would like to publish only few fields. Click on edit button. It is providing all the fields available inside my account object. What fields information you would like to share with the people? So select that fields. I'm selecting that account facts, account number, phone, rating, site, source, type, active status, annual revenue, customer priority, industry, ownership, website. These are the fields I would like to share with this particular target organization. So I would like to share only this fields information, because in my object there are some important fields maybe there which I'm using for my internal systems reference. For my application reference, I am having some confidential fields are also available, which is having some sensitive data. I don't want to disclose this data to the other people. For that one, we can decide what fields you would like to expose. Now, click on save. By default, if I'm not publishing, by default, name field will be getting published. Only the name field. If you want to expose that remaining fields, you have to select. As part of case, it is going to be exposing subject field now. So I want to share some more fields information. Like as case number, I want to share case origin, case reason, case type, and then I would like to share the email address, phone number, priority, status. Now, these are the information which I would like to share with the people over here. Now, click on save. Next one, the third object, contact. I want to share some field. As part of contact, I would like to share the business facts, phone, department in the email ID, first name, and the lead source, mobile phone, title. These are the fields information which I would like to share, along with like some home phone and some mailing city also. I would like to share this information as well. Now, click on save. Now, the next one, hiring manager. It is sharing that name field by default. I would like to expose email ID, location, contact number also. And the lead. Go to the lead object, select the fields. Lead annual revenue, city, country, email ID, phone number, mobile phone, lead source, and the industry, first name, fax, rating value, and the lead status, street and the title, website and the postal code. These are the fields information which I would like to expose. And then opportunity. So I would like to expose amount value, and then opportunity type, lead source, and the quantity. These are the fields which I would like to expose. As part of my position record, click on edit button. I would like to expose the HR contact number and the email ID, and the location, maximum budget, position description, open date and the number of vacancies, minimum pay and the milestone date, position status, skills required and the travel required. Now, so we have selected the required fields which I would like to share. So these are the fields which I have exposed. So not only publishing the objects, I have published the fields also. Which fields information you would like to publish. Now, so now here the publisher has published that fields. Now whenever they're sharing this record information, then these fields information should be storing in the target where? Inside the target object. Now, so inside the target object, okay, which fields this information should get resides. So we have to map that fields also. The step 9. Step 9 inside that subscriber. In the subscriber, select the published fields and map the target. Map the target object fields. That means whatever the record they have shared, if they're sharing that account record with account ID, name, rating, industry, annual revenue, these records will be storing into my account object. Okay, fine. Then this account name field value will store into which field? Rating value should store into which field? We have to map that fields also. Field to field mapping over here. Now, so now here in this case, so go to the connections tab and click on that connections page. Go to the subscribed objects section. Objects section. Click on each object, and edit link and map the fields from the source to target. Source to target. Like for example, assume that I would like to do this. Now I'm having the publisher object field and the subscriber object field. We have to map. In this case, they are going to be publishing that account object record, where they are going to be sharing account record name. They are sharing that account record rating. They are exposing account record industry. They are sharing account record annual revenue. They are sharing account records form. Then where these values has to be get resides. Where these values should be get resides. So in this case, we can able to specify that. Now these values should be get resides inside the target object. Target object means what? Target is account to account mapping we did already. Now, so I would like to share this object fields. So whatever the fields are available here inside your published object, these are fields I would like to map with that target object fields, nothing but subscriber object fields. So you have to repeat the steps for each and every object. Fourth one, click on save button. Repeat the step 1 to 4.
If any field is required in subscriber object, but it is not required in the publisher object, then how we can
then it won't create that record. Okay, then it won't create that record. We need to pass that field value also from there.
Okay. So
because whenever they are going to be having this kind of integration, basically integration is not a one man's job. Integration is a two teams jobs. Okay, it's a two teams job where both the teams should sit together. They have to discuss what input they need. They will provide that input. That input other team should provide. And then what output they need, this another team they will provide that output over here. So that both the teams, nothing but, for example, one Salesforce application, one Java application, I need to integrate. So two people should interact with each other first. because from the Salesforce side, one person, from Java side, one person. Both they have to sit together, how to map the integration, what are the possibilities they will identify, and then in order to integrate from Salesforce to Java, Java people need what kind of information, then Salesforce will provide. Then with that information, Java application will be getting integrated. It will be sending the response. So whatever the response has been given by the Java application, then the Salesforce people has to collect and they have to pass. So they have to sit together, they have to discuss what fields are required, what fields information they have to supply. Okay.
Okay.
So repeat that steps 1 to 4 to map the fields for all the objects, all the subscribed objects. So let me go to the subscriber now. Let me go to the subscriber. Go to the subscribed objects. Select this account object. Click on edit button. Once you click on this edit link, they are going to be indicating this. These are the fields this force is incorporation organization is going to be exposing. Now these fields where you would like to place. Now account name they're passing that account record name will be storing inside this account name field. Now facts field we should be placing where you want to place inside that. So it is mapping that fields also. Like at the data loader here also we have auto map fields option is available. Once you select this, auto map fields will be available. Okay, auto maps fields option will be available to you. So in this case, whatever the fields are available, it will be mapping. If the field names are same in both source and target, it will be mapping automatically, or else we have to map manually over here by selecting from the pick list control. Now click on save. So that whatever the account facts they are supplying, please store inside my account records facts field. Account number into account number field, phone into phone field, rating into rating field. Like that, we are mapping this. Now click on save. Let's go to the second object also. Case object, edit, auto map that fields because these are standard objects. Case number. Now here we don't have any field is available over here. So now the case number field is not available here. Now I would whatever the case number they have supplied because case number is an auto number field. Okay, case number is a auto number field. So here it will be having some auto number, but we can't place into my case number field because it's a read-only field. We can't place. That's what it is indicating now. So I don't want to specify that. I want to place inside the company field. Now click on save. Next, the contact record. Click on edit button. Auto map that fields. So it is mapping all the fields automatically.
So Feroz, so basically we need to do this mapping in both the sides, right?
Yes, they will expose and we are going to be consuming that both.
Okay.
Go to that hiring manager object, select this auto map. So email ID field is available. So here we are having email address. So that select that field because here the field name is different, here the field name is different. Now click on save. Next, the lead object. I would like to map the fields automatically. All the fields has been mapped automatically because same fields are available here also. Now we are having opportunity. I would like to map the fields. So here also the fields has been mapped automatically because opportunity is the standard object. So we have the same name fields are available. Now position object. Click on edit. Auto map. So it is mapping these fields over here. Here also the same field names are available. That's what it is mapping automatically. So these are the fields has been mapped over here. So the provider has published those objects and the fields, and the subscriber has been subscribed those object fields. Now, so now we are done with this mapping over here.
Hello, Feroz, are you there?
So now we have established the connections, and then we have subscribed the objects and the fields also. Now it's ready to go with sharing the records. Then how can we share the record from the provider, and then how the consumer will be receiving the record? Now let's see. I'm going to the provider organization. Here we have to do one more step over here. On the subjects page layout, on the subjects page layout, we have to add one more button that is called as external sharing related list. Now, as a step 10 in the publisher, add the external sharing related list on each published object, on each published objects page layout. So go to the page layouts section, and then we can able to add that external sharing related list onto your page layout. So go to this account object. So I'm going to be using this account object page layout. Like for example, go to the setup menu. Go to the customize, accounts, and the page layouts. So this is the premium customer layout. Click on edit. On this one, I would like to place one page layout. So the related list. Along with this contact related list, I would like to add one more related list. Go to the related list. You will be having one related list called as external sharing. Add this related list onto your page layout. External sharing related list. Like the similar way, repeat this step for each and every object which you have published. Like the similar way, go to the hiring manager object also. Go to the page layouts. Go to the page layout. Click on edit. We have to add a related list that is called as external sharing. External sharing related list. See. We have to repeat these steps for each and every published object. From there, we can able to publish. Now, let's see how can we do this. So once we have added this one, then from step 11 onwards, we can able to share the records from provider to consumer. How? Let's see. Let me go to my account record. I'm creating a new account. I'm creating an account record. So with the name Satya Kumar. Okay, Satya Kumar. Account number, I'm giving the value some 8855. Type some prospect. Industry some finance. Annual revenue some 22 lakh. Rating value some hard. Phone number some value. Fax number some value. A website I'm indicating Cognizant. Ownership is some public. Billing street I'm indicating some SR Nagar. Billing city some Hyderabad. State some Telangana. Postal code 500038. Country some India. Customer priority some high. Active status is. So I'm creating the record. Click on save. The record name is Satya Kumar. Now I want to share this record with the consumer organization. Okay, with the consumer organization, I want to share the record. How to do that? Go to this external share. Okay, go to that record, open that record, go to that external share. Click on forward this account. Okay, to whom you want to forward. Select that connection name. Okay, whatever the connections are available, select this connection name to which you would like to share. I want to share with that ICICI Prudential. That means this is the consumer which we have established the connection. Select that and then share this. Send notification email. Okay, send notification email. As soon as whenever I'm selecting this one, once a record has been forwarded to this particular organization, it will be sending one email notification to this organization's email ID. So a record has been shared with you. So it will be sending some email notifications. Now click on save. So it will be sending that record automatically. Now we can check whether the record has been sent successfully or not. It is indicating that record has been sent, but it is pending. That means it is in processing. Refresh this one because we have selected auto accept button over there. We no need to accept manually. Now click on refresh this user interface. It will share the record automatically. Still it is processing to share the record to that external system. Once it is done, it will be indicating like as active. Now see, here active. That means here the record has been shared successfully. Let's go to that partner organization. That means this is the consumer. Go to the accounts. You can able to see that record also. Get all the records. Satya Kumar is a record. Starting, okay, the name is starting with some yes. Now Satya Kumar record is also available over here. So it is clearly indicating that this account record is occasionally shared because it was received from Forces Incorporation. That means the records which you have received, those records, okay, it will be indicating clearly this account record is externally shared by the organization Forces Incorporation. Okay, so to your organization's Salesforce to Salesforce integration, by using this one on so and so date, it has been shared this record over here. This is how we can able to share the record from one Salesforce organization to another Salesforce organization. Like the similar way, we can share hiring manager records also. Let me share one hiring manager record. Go to the hiring manager, test hiring manager, test HR 200. Or else I'm changing this name over here. Instead of test HR 200, I'm indicating like as some Bhanu HR. Okay, Bhanu HR. Okay, there is a validation tool. Okay, for example, test HR 200. I want to share this. Forward this hiring manager record to the ICICI Bank Prudential. This is the partner I'm sharing here. Send the email notification. So automatically the record will be sending to that particular target organization. Now, Still it is in the process of sharing that record externally to the target system.
So Feroz, as you said, Salesforce to Salesforce integration will be possible through configuration as well as by coding, right?
Yes, both. We'll see when moving forward how to do it through coding also.
Okay, in real scenario, which one we used to follow? Like
Both the scenarios. We are going to be using both the scenarios in the real time.
okay.
Okay.
And in this Salesforce to Java also, is it possible?
No, by using this configuration, this is not possible. Salesforce to Java. Salesforce to Java through programming or else integration tools.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
So
This option is only for Salesforce to Salesforce.
So declarative integration is only for Salesforce to Salesforce, right?
The two Salesforce to Salesforce option is available only for Salesforce to Salesforce. We can use integration tools, TIPCO, Web Methods, MuleSoft, all these things to integrate from Salesforce to Java, Salesforce to .NET, Salesforce to SAP, Salesforce to mainframe, anything you can do by using integration tools. Okay.
Feroz, it is only for one-to-one or one-to-many also possible?
Yes, one-to-many also. We can map the connection with another organization and we can able to select that to whom you want to share this record. To the multiple partners also, we can share the same record also. Okay. So we can get this record that is with the name starting with the character T, TestHR 200.
Can we create a list view that can capture external connection accounts?
No, we can't get that.
And can we create report? How do you capture them?
Sorry?
How can we create a report type and a report, or also no?
Yeah, at that time we can able to create a report. Why? Because upon sharing that record, we can able to maintain a record type, pass the type also standard, we can able to filter it out. That possibility is there.
Can
we can pass one indicator.
Can we create like a workflow or a process builder that will say whenever anything comes from external connection, flag it, or like check this box?
No, not required, because here upon mapping that fields to fields, just we can able to maintain one additional field over here, and then upon passing that record from that particular source, just you can able to map that field value based on record type, based on one field we can able to map. Based on this field, we can able to add some list view options also, we can filter it out, and we can use inside that reports also. Okay. This is how we are going to be implementing Salesforce to Salesforce integration without writing even a single line of code. Just by using some configuration, we can able to do this. Okay. So in the next session, I'm going to be discussing about one more feature that is called as web services and the JSON. We'll see what exactly the JSON formats and how can we prepare the JSON format of content, how to parse, everything we'll see. And before that, I'm going to be discussing about that web services concept first. As part of web services, we'll see how to create the web services which are RESTful web services. How to prepare RESTful web services. How can we test it by using the workbench? I will show you practically. Don't miss that next session. Next integration session will be on Saturday evening at 6 o'clock and then Sunday morning 8 o'clock.
So Firoz?
Yes.
Yeah, our time is going